With that being said, let's just jump right in the news here regarding the Mar-a-Lago raid. Almost as bad as Jim Acosta. Somehow, with Trump not being around in social media day in and day out, I'm starting to lose my Trump impression. We'll bring it back, folks, I promise. But our lead story of the day is regarding the Mar-a-Lago raid, regarding Judge Reinhart formally rejecting the DOJ's argument to keep Trump's affidavit sealed. So there's actually big news here and almost discredits what I said the other day regarding the affidavit being sealed or redacted. And we'll get into that in just one moment here. Well, Judge Bruce Reinhart on Monday admitted the FBI raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home was unprecedented and formally rejected the Justice Department's argument to keep the affidavit leading to the search under seal, citing the intense public and historical interest. Reinhart is filing Monday morning, said he rejects the government's argument that the present record justifies keeping the entire affidavit under seal. Quote, the government argues that even requiring it to redact portions of the affidavit that could not reveal agent identities or investigative sources and methods imposes an undue burden on its resources and sets a precedent that could be disruptive and burdensome in future cases, Reinhart wrote. Quote, I do not need to reach the question of whether, in some other case, these concerns could justify denying public access. They very well might. Basically saying, look, I'm looking at what we're dealing with now. This unprecedented FBI raid that took place on a former president and a political opponent of the current administration, the current president of the United States, and saying, look, I'm going to deal with this case now and kind of what's going on. I hope that this doesn't have any sort of ramifications for future cases, but if it does, basically we'll deal with it when we have to. He added, particularly given the intense public and historical interest in an unprecedented search of a former president's residence, the government has yet to show that these administrative concerns are sufficient to justifying sealing. This is really interesting to me because we're making it, or at least we're being led to believe that this whole thing was extremely justified, that they must have had gone in right when they needed to because of some nuclear thing or some serious documents that Trump had that can lead to some sort of devastation in the United States or whatever. And now he's saying, well, the government has not shown that these administrative concerns are sufficient to justify sealing. So the judge has probably seen it, I would imagine, if he's talking this way and going, look, it's not really that big of a deal to release this thing, even if it's kind of redacted. So it makes you wonder, why did they go in the first place? And it doesn't seem that serious. I mean, we talked about kind of the Ben Shapiro type of thinking on this of, look, Merrick Garland sat around for like 2 or 3 weeks on this. And so if it was as serious as he's basically saying and implying of you to do something that's unprecedented, never happened before, it clearly wasn't that serious if you're willing to sit on it for like 2 to 3 weeks is what I'm saying. And so is Ben Shapiro and others. Reinhart said he was given the Justice Department an opportunity to propose redaction, something he granted last week, giving the government a deadline of Thursday, August 25th at noon. Now, this is what I find really interesting because what I said was, why release it anyways if you're just going to redact everything? And we know they're going to. It's basically just going to be all black and redacted. Why do in the first place? Because we're not going to get any information from it. But check this out because this kind of underskirts my argument. And I'm actually kind of excited to see what could happen here. There's a lot of possibilities. Let me get into that. Accordingly, it is hereby ordered that by the deadline, the government shall file under a seal a submission addressing possible redactions and providing any additional evidence or legal argument that the government believes relevant to the pending motions to unseal. But listen to what Reinhart's willing to do. Reinhart, during a highly anticipated hearing in West Palm Beach, Florida last Thursday, said the entire affidavit should not be kept under seal, despite the Justice Department's argument that the release would jeopardize future steps in the investigation and provide a roadmap for the probe. Reinhart will then review those redactions and determine how best to proceed, whether to accept the recommendations from the government, prosecutors, or perform his own redactions instead. So there's actually a little bit of a possibility here that we might be able to get more information if he doesn't agree with the government's redactions and he might just redact the thing himself. It could also go the other way, don't get me wrong, where the FBI or the government did or the DOJ just didn't redact that much stuff and they should have redacted more. Reinhart could theoretically step in and redact even more stuff. So there is that argument as well. But I'm trying to look at a glimmer of hope here of us maybe getting more information, seeing what the hell's going on here. You're going to do this type of move and you're not going to fill us in on anything? There's reasons for that. I'm fully understanding. But at the same time, this is very unprecedented. I don't care about future cases as well. I want to know what the hell's going on here of you doing this to a man that served this country greatly. And we still haven't gotten any answers. Government prosecutor Jay Bratt last week argued that unsealing the affidavit would provide a roadmap of ongoing investigations still in the early stages. Bratt also said the country is in a volatile state, and he warned that releasing the names of witnesses or FBI agents would chill other witnesses who may still come forward. Look, I don't know if anybody here that watches the Bald Brad show, including myself, I don't need to know the FBI agents' names. I don't give a crap. They're the 31 agents. Look, they did their job. They were told and given an order to do what they needed to do. I'm not upset with them. I'm upset with the FBI, Merrick Garland, the FBI director. They're the ones that authorized this and put those agents in those places, and they were just doing their job. So my quill or quell or whatever the hell the word is, my problem is not with them. My problem is Merrick Garland with Joe Biden, who's claiming he didn't know, which, like I said, this guy is so far gone off this planet that I can actually believe it. I can actually believe it if he says, oh, I didn't know. Nobody ever told me about it. He could have been probably fully briefed on a load of crap and completely forgotten about it. I mean, he is in the best situation to commit so many crimes because everybody's going to look at it and probably believe the guy like, yeah, you didn't know anything that's going on. I mean, shit, you had no clue, did you? You probably authorized something, didn't even know where you were. So it's all believable. But it goes on to say this. This is not a precedent we want to set, Bratt said. The government is very concerned about the safety of witnesses in this case. Really? Okay. It's astonishing when they always are hypocritical in what they say because the FBI is known to have leaked witnesses before. They're known to leak documents, but all of a sudden now they're worried about people's safety and names and, such an early case. But before, hey, they're willing to just spread information to people at football games or baseball games, leak documents to the press. Yeah. So it's always funny that when people are getting pissed off now because you did something you maybe shouldn't have done, now they're like, oh, well, hey, safety, folks, safety first. Yeah. Okay. Media organizations arguing that the affidavit should be unsealed and the government, Reinhart, all agreed that this is a unique and unprecedented case. Charles Tobin, who argued for the Washington Post and other media organizations, said that the raid of Mar-a-Lago was one of the most significant law enforcement actions in nation's history, saying the public interest could not be greater. Everybody's wondering what the hell's going on. Democrats, Republicans, independents, hell, socialists are going, what the hell? And everybody should be freaked out on both parties. I don't think Democrats realize the kind of door that was just opened here. I don't think it's actually hit them yet until you get Trump in office or DeSantis, where a lot of conservatives, Republicans, myself going, look, you just opened Pandora's box. I say whoever's next president that's Republican or conservative, start just raiding everybody because now this is what you wanted. So now you're going to get it. Go in there after Hillary, go after Hunter, go after Joe, go after Obama, go after Eric Holder, go after everybody then because this is what you want. Now you're going to get it shoved in your face. I'm done playing these fun games as conservatives and Republicans where we're supposed to be always like the little good girls or good boys. And it's like, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. Look, because they did that, we shouldn't be doing that. You know what? If they want to play bad, let's play a little bit bad too. Start doing this to everybody then. So when Trump gets in office, I expect to just unleash the full FBI on everybody in the Democrat Party. Go crazy. Trump, while not in the party in the hearing, demanded that the affidavit be unsealed and released in an unredacted form. I don't agree with that. Again, this comes into just because I'm a Trump supporter, I like Trump, doesn't mean I agree with everything the man says. We do not need to know the FBI's names, those agents that went into his house. That is not important to you or I. I do believe in some sort of privacy here. Like I said, they're just doing their jobs. They're just going in, listening to their boss, and just following through with it. They have a pension. They have a family to take care of. They need to do what they need to do. So my beef is not with them. Again, it's with Merrick Garland and the Biden administration and the FBI. In the interest of transparency, I call for the immediate release of the completely unredacted affidavit pertaining to the horrible and shocking break-in. Even the whole affidavit, look, I'm okay with some parts being redacted. I just want to know what documents they were looking for. Like, what was so important to do this type of raid? Because it's not looking good for the DOJ. And quite frankly, I don't even know, even if it was nuclear codes, I would imagine those nuclear codes aren't even able to be utilized anymore because of the switching of administration. So if it was nuclear codes and it was something that serious, like I said, why'd they wait 18 months? It just doesn't make sense. It smells like shit, you guys. And usually in accounting, when we're auditing or we're doing taxes, if it smells like SHIT, usually is SHIT. And so I'm seeing something here where it's leading me towards there's not really much. And Reinhart's wording makes it seem like it's not really much. And the government's freaking out because they know it's not much. And so it's about to all be released. So that's kind of the update, what's going on here. We might have to wait a little while for it to see if it's going to be all redacted, or we might get a little bit of kind of some information here. But like I said, it kind of underskirts a little bit of what I said yesterday. So trying to always update you folks on changing. My opinion changes as well. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.